48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right. So the Lord said, Moses said to the Israelites that you would serve your enemies. That you would serve your enemies. Right? Read on.
In hunger.
In hunger. Where do we get our food from today? The stores. Who own those stores? Do our people own those stores? No. No. Our people don't own those stores. Read it again.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
And in hunger. We would serve our enemies for hunger. We would serve the so-called white man for hunger. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. You want water. You want juice. You want drink. Right? You would serve your enemies for food, for water. Read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. We would serve our enemies for clothing. Read.
And in want of all things.
In want of all things. What Christ look like, my brother? What did you say?
He asked
Jesus, yes sir. We're going to show you what Christ looked like in the Bible. Come on, read that.
The book of Revelations, chapter 1 and verse 14. His head and his hair were white like wool.
It said Christ, his hairs on his head and his beard were white like wool, woolly in texture. What wool look like?
Look like him.
Look at that brother right there. Look at that brother with the long locks. White and woolly. All people got white and woolly hair, right? So it said Christ's hair was white like wool, wool in texture, and what? Read.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. Read.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire, because he drunk wine, but in moderation, right? Read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And his feet like unto fine brass. My brother, look down at your feet. It said Christ's feet was like unto fine brass. The feet look, your feet look like the rest of your body, right? It said Christ's feet was like unto fine brass. What's the color of brass? Brass with a B.
Black.
Like brownish, right?
Yeah.
Right. Read on.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. If you burn anything, what color is going to come out?
Red.
What's after it's burnt? What color is it going to be? When you burn something, you burn anything, it's going to come out black, right?
Yeah.
So it said Christ's feet is like it was burned in a furnace. So Christ was a black man.
Right.
Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, was a black man. All right? Give me Job 30 and 30. Right? All the prophets of the book were black. Christ, God, Job, Adam, Songs of Solomon, David. Right? Read that.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me.
Job said what?
My skin is black upon me.
Job said his skin was black upon him. How y'all young brothers doing?
Come right up.
Y'all doing all right? Y'all doing all right? Let me ask y'all a question. Right? Where can you find Christ on this board right here? What Christ look like? Where he at?
Bottom middle.
Bottom middle. You say this is Christ. What you say?
Right down.
This one? Okay, so he say this one. What you say? You say this one too. You say this one. So we got two right here. We got one right here. What you say? Bottom middle. Right? You say this is Christ. Alright? So where did the confusion come from?
Right.
We got one brother that says this is Christ, and then we got three that say this is Christ. Where did the confusion come from? Right? Because you this is a black man. This is a white man. It's confusion on what he looked like, right? It's confusion. It's confusion, right? Why is that? Why is that? We're going to show you what Christ looked like in the Bible. Because this white man right now is not Christ.
Right.
That is not Christ. He's a black man. That's right. Come on, read that.
The book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. The revelation of Jesus Christ.
The revelation of Jesus Christ. Y'all look smart. What's the root word of revelation?
Like the life?
Revelation. To reveal. To reveal. So this is the revealing of Jesus Christ. All right? Jump to verse 14.
Verse 14. His head and his hairs were white like wool.
It said his hairs on his head, the hairs on his face were white and woolly. What's the texture of wool? Who on this earth has woolly hair? Does this man have woolly hair? Or does this man have woolly hair?
The black one.
This one. What do you say? You say the black one? The black one? The black one? But what does this man have? Why does this man have stringy hair and y'all call him Jesus? When it said what?
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
It said Christ's hairs were woolly. And read on.
As white as snow.
As white as snow. It was white and woolly. That older gentleman over there looked like he's sitting back down. But if you look at his beard, it's white and woolly. That's what Christ's beard looked like. That's what his hair on his head looked like.
Right.
It was white and woolly. Read on.
And his eyes were as a flame of fire.
His eyes were as a flame of fire. Do any of y'all know what Christ's first miracle was? It's turning water to wine. Y'all ever heard that?
Yes, sir.
Right. So Christ drunk wine, but it was in moderation. Right. He wasn't no drunk. So that's why the whites of his eyes were red.
Right.
Read on.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
His feet like unto fine brass. His feet like unto fine brass. What's the color of brass? Brown. Brass is brown. So it said Christ's feet like unto fine brass.
As if they burned in a furnace.
As if they burned in a furnace. You burn something, what color is it? Black. So what was Christ? Black. Black. My brother right here, looking down. Black. Black. I want to hear all y'all say it. All right? Look at that brother. Look at his feet. You can look down at his feet and see what the rest of his body look like, right? So it said Christ's feet. Let's let my brother here read.
And his feet like unto fine brass.
And Christ's feet was like unto fine brass.
As if they burned in a furnace.
Right. So what does that make Christ? A black man.
That's right.
Christ was a black man. Right? Y'all brothers got to start seeing gods in one another.
Right.
Right? Y'all brothers got to start seeing gods one another. Why? Because you are God's chosen people.
Right.
Christ came and died for you. Christ came and gave his laws, statutes, and commandments to you. God's laws were only given to our people.
Right.
All right, give me duty. Yes, sir, you got it.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art unholy people.
Thou art an holy people. Thou art an holy people. He's talking to the children of Israel. Read.
Unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people.
God has chosen y'all young brothers to be his special people.
Right.
To be his chosen people.
Right.
Read.
Unto himself.
Unto himself. Christ has chosen you to be a special people unto himself. Read.
Above all people.
It said what?
Above all people.
Above all people. Are we above all people today? No. We're not above all people today. Why is that? Why did we fall to the bottom? When God just said that we're his chosen people. And that he chose us above all people. What did you say?
Skin color?
Cause you say because of skin color? No. Our oppressors taught us to hate our skin color. They taught us to hate one another. But that's not why. Give me that. Deuteronomy 28. Right? So Moses was speaking to the children of Israel. Do any of y'all know who the children of Israel are?
He doesn't.
It's okay if you don't know. It's okay. No? You say no? Okay, we're going to show you who the children of Israel. Because God said he's chosen Israel to be his special people. But who are the Israelites? Who are the Israelites? Read.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. So Moses is speaking to the children of Israel. He's speaking to the Israelites and telling them, if you don't listen and follow after God's commandments, that curses will be put upon you. That curses will be put upon you, Israelites.
Right.
Is a curse a good thing or a bad thing? A bad thing. So Moses said, if you don't listen to God's commandments, that curses will be put upon you. All right. Yeah, give me that.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Right. So the Lord said, Moses said to the Israelites that you would serve your enemies. That you would serve your enemies. Right? Read on.
In hunger.
In hunger. Where do we get our food from today? The stores. Who own those stores? Do our people own those stores? No. No. Our people don't own those stores. Read it again.
Which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst.
And in hunger. We would serve our enemies for hunger. We would serve the so-called white man for hunger. Read.
And in thirst.
And in thirst. You want water. You want juice. You want drink. Right? You would serve your enemies for food, for water. Read.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. We would serve our enemies for clothing. Read.
And in want of all things.
In want of all things.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger.
In hunger, right? But where does the food come from? Where does the imports come from?
You mean like those bonds?
Right. Where do they get the food from, right? Where does the store owners get the food to supply the store?
Bring it out! Like the water.
The waters, the sodas, the meats, the snacks, candies, pastas. Where does those imports come from? I'm sorry?
Nobody.
I can't hear you. It comes from another nation. It comes from another nation. All right, read on.
And in thirst.
And in thirst, the waters, the juices, the sodas, that comes imported from another nation. Right, read on.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness. And in clothing. Those things get imported over here as well. Right, so we would serve our enemies for food, for water, for clothing. Read.
And in want of all things.
And in want of all things. We would serve our enemies for in want of all things. Education, religion. Right? Death certificate, birth certificate, cars. Right? Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. Who put yokes of iron on our people's neck?
The white people?
The white people. The white people, our enemies.
Right.
God calls them our enemies. But who did he say this would happen to? Us, the Israelites. The Israelites. God said that this would happen to the Israelites. So what does that make you?
Take it out.
An Israelite.
That's right.
Y'all are Israelites.
That's right.
Y'all are from the 12 tribes of Israel. God's chosen people. God has given us his laws and commandments. God has chosen us to be his people. Right, but what? We fell away from God's laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
Now we don't know who we are. Now we don't know God's laws. Now we hate one another. We kill one another. Over in Nassau, there's a bunch of murders going on. It's hatred going on in the Bahamas. Right? Why? Because we fell away from God's laws, statutes, and commandments.
Right.
All right? Do y'all know what today is? Say it again?
The exact day?
Yeah, what's today?
Oh, it's Saturday, February 10th.
Saturday, right? Saturday. What day is God's chosen day?
Saturday. Every day. Sunday. Every day?
You said Sunday?
Every
You
day?
said every day? You said what? Saturday? You said Saturday? You said what? Sunday? Okay, so you see how there's confusion there again. We get Sunday, we get Saturday, we get every day. What? But God has chosen a specific day to be his day. A day of rest.
On the Sabbath.
The Sabbath day. My brother said it right there, the Sabbath day. What day is that?
Saturday?
Saturday. Today is the Lord's Sabbath day. Saturday is the Lord's chosen day, his Sabbath. Do you know what we're supposed to be doing on God's chosen day? Exodus 20.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 8. Remember the Sabbath day.
The Lord said to remember the Sabbath day. To remember the Sabbath day. Do our people over here remember the Sabbath day? No. So that's another reason why curses are put on our people. Because we have forgotten the Sabbath day. But God said what?
Remember the Sabbath day.
That God told us to remember the Sabbath day. Read.
To keep it holy.
To keep it holy. How do we keep the Sabbath day holy? Read.
6 days shall thou labor.
6 days shall we labor. 6 days shall we labor. Starting at the beginning of week, which is Sunday, all the way to Friday, sundown. Right? Read.
And do all thy work. But the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God.
But the 7th day, the Saturday, the Sabbath is the day of the Lord thy God. And what?
In it thou shalt do not any work.
In it thou shalt do no work. Is people out here working today? Yes, right? So what? We have forgotten the Sabbath day. Therefore, curses are on our people. Therefore, we get shot down in the street. Therefore, we have to serve our enemies. Right? Read.
Thou, nor thy sons, nor thy daughters, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Right. So in the Sabbath day, nobody should be doing work. But what? We have people out here working today. So that's why God's curses are on our people. For one of them is breaking the Sabbath day by working. What else are we not supposed to do on the Sabbath day? Read.
Okay, Exodus chapter 35 and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be unto you a holy day, a Sabbath of rest.
Right, a Sabbath of rest. The Sabbath day is supposed to be of rest. Nobody should be working on the Sabbath day. Give me buying and selling. Nehemiah 10. Nehemiah 10, right? So one thing we're not supposed to be doing on the Sabbath day is what? Working. We should not be working on God's Sabbath day. So when y'all get older, y'all start to get jobs, what are you not supposed to do on Saturday? Work. Read.
Verse 10 and verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day,
right,
to sell.
Right. So they were bringing their items, their products, their victuals to sell on the Sabbath day. Read.
That we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath day.
Right. So we should not be buying or selling anything on the Sabbath day. Are these grocery stores open today?
Some of them.
Are barber shops open today? Are gas stations open today? Right. So these are the things that will put curses on our people. These are the reasons that got our people in the bottom of society today. On why we have to serve our enemies for all things. Is that it on that?
Or on the holy day. And that we would leave this
Right, or on the holy days, the new moons, Passover, Purim, Pentecost, Tabernacles, right? We should not buy or sell on those holy days.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you. It's nation time. And